But that is not what makes this snapshot one of the greatest things that they've added for survival Minecraft. Hello YouTube lovers, this is PixelEagle138, aka the Eagle Builder Animator. Welcome back to another episode of Video Gamer. Today, I'm here for another Minecraft snapshot review. Like I said, I wasn't going to take too long to get to these, and they had another very, honestly, surprisingly quick snapshot that came out with a feature that is pretty much smaller than the last one because it's more of a change than an actual new addition. But this is going to have a huge impact on things like survival Minecraft, and honestly, this is one of the coolest changes that they've made. It makes the Happy Ghast even more useful than it already was when we went over that last snapshot review. Let's go ahead and check out this one and see some of the changes that they have. First change isn't actually related to the Happy Ghast, but it was still a change I wanted to talk about very briefly. It is a change to how Firework boost works. So obviously, you know, if you are flying normally, you just like jump off here, activate your Elytra. You could use this as a boost and just firework like this. But the thing was, if you were near a wall, it would actually set off as a firework instead of boosting it. That has changed now, so even if you're going right at the wall, it still gives you a boost instead of just firing off a rocket. This is going to be super useful because, like, if you're panicking, like flying around and you're like falling into the void in the end or something like that, you now can actually use the boost to get up even if you're going up against a wall, which is super helpful. Like, I just broke my ability to glide right there, but overall, I think this is a pretty solid change, all things considered, just because it's a nice quality of life thing, but it is a very minor thing. So let's go ahead and quickly get right to the nitty-gritty of what makes this snapshot so cool. Mojang has introduced a bunch of changes to leads in this snapshot and that make them even better. So one is just like a parity thing where it actually appears thicker now, kind of like it looks on Bedrock. So it's actually, there we go, it actually looks better like that. So that's one thing. But as you know, you can grab multiple mobs and do all this stuff. But that's not all you can do now. First of all, you can remove a lead by using shears. Shears are now used to cut the leads. That's a nice little detail. It makes it easier to get the leads off. But another thing that you could do is if you shift right click instead of just right click, you can tie mobs to each other. It does break a few things, but yeah, this is a little trickier than I thought. But let's go ahead and grab this cow and attach it to this cow. See, you have to do a new one first and then attach it to the existing ones. But now that I've done that, I have a chain of cows. And I can just lead them around however I want. And the reason I have a boat here, let me actually go ahead and, oh, I forgot I had the elytra on. That's actually kind of fun. The reason that I have a boat with me is because it's not just mobs that you can attach the leads to anymore. Now you can actually attach the leads to other entities, such as boats. Oh, I went too fast. I went too fast and broke the lead. At least they're still tied together, though. There we go. Yeah, so again, shift right click to make sure that it doesn't overwrite the existing lead. It's the main thing you need to watch out for. Come on, cows, you're a little slow. But let's see, if I put this boat down right here, look at that. Now the cows are attached to the boat, and if I get in the boat, oh gosh, boat physics. But if I get in the boat, now the cows are attached to me in the boat, and I can go forward without worrying about like anything, and I can get off the boat and do something else. Like, if I have to fight a mob or something like that, the cows will stay with the boat instead of coming with me. Which, that's a really useful feature, and I really like the changes that they're making these leads. It's making it easier to use them. It's making it easier to remove them. It's making it simpler to have a bunch of mobs on a lead. But that is not what makes this snapshot one of the greatest things that they've added for survival Minecraft. And that all ties back to the Happy Ghast. You can now leash things to Happy Ghasts, but when you do that, something really special happens. So I'm going to go ahead and grab more leads and everything. And there is a reason I am next to a village today. So there is a special interaction when you try to leash something big, like, say, a horse, to a Happy Ghast. So if I go ahead and... Come here, Happy Ghast. Look at that. It has a different texture that appears, and oh my gosh, it's just taking the horse for a ride. But yeah, so it has a special texture for when you have like larger mobs like horses or sniffers or things like that leashed to a Happy Ghast. It'll actually form like this hot air balloon style, like 4 leads looking down at it. There we go. Go ahead and free the horse. But, oh shoot. No, come back here. Come back here. I actually removed the lead that was keeping you here. Stay right there, Happy Ghast. But it's not just about horses. You can attach boats this same way to a ghast, and it will create a hot air balloon style thing. And yes, it works when villagers are in the boat. So come here. Come here, Happy Ghast, and boom. Look at that. We now can more easily transport villagers, and I love this. So now if I go and ride the Happy Ghast, look at that. I can now take off, and the villager will be transported with me. And you can still put 2 entities in the boat, so you can technically carry 2 villagers. But now, if I do this, I can carry the villagers over land so much easier without having to do some kind of weird, like putting a long minecart system or using like intermittent pistons to like push the boat over ledges in the land. You can now put them in a boat and then attach that boat to a Happy Ghast and then just take them to wherever your villager farm or whatever is or the whatever village that you've built around your base is going to be. Now, this is especially helpful, I feel like, with the changes that Mojang is making to villagers. Because one of the things that they were talking about is that, certain enchanted books will only come from villagers in certain biomes. And sometimes for, like, the really good ones, you have to, like, make a village because villages don't spawn naturally there. But the fact that they now you have to go to different biomes to get different librarians means that you have to transport villagers all over the place unless you want to constantly be traveling back and forth. Now, you can just pick up that villager once you've locked in its trade, bring it back to your base, give him a new lectern and bed to have as his workstation, and you could just have all the villagers you need exactly where you want. This is huge. Again, the Happy Ghast is slow, but this is still so much more convenient than just like I said, either building a long minecart system or trying to do the pushing a boat up with pistons to get them over things. This is just such a better way to do it. And this is the Happy Ghast I already said was going to be huge for survival. The way that it was, the way that you could like use it as a building platform and stuff like that. The fact that you can now also use it as villager transportation. The Happy Ghast may be genuinely the most useful mob that Mojang has added in years. And I couldn't be more excited for the fact that we have these Happy Ghast out and they have features like this. This is genuinely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and glide over here because look at that. Oh, so now we're just going to have a villager and a Happy Ghast chilling up there. But like you saw, like I mentioned, the horses, donkeys, mules, and sniffers also have the same effect underneath them. And you could attach multiples underneath the ghast. You could have an entire cluster of horses if you want to like transport a whole herd or something like that. But look at that. We now have actual hot air balloons in Minecraft. Ironically, because the Happy Ghast prefer the cold. So it's more like a cold air balloon, which doesn't make sense with actual physics. But either way, this is a very quick video, I know, but I just really wanted to talk about this because I really love this. The fact that they have, like I said, hot air balloons like this is amazing. Can I get in the boat? Hold on. I want to see if I can get in the boat. I don't know if I can get in the boat while it's attached to the Happy Ghast. That would be cool, actually, because then you could transport, potentially like 6 players. Maybe if I'm already in the boat when I attach it? Oh, no, I got in the boat. Oh, but it doesn't move when I'm in it. Ew, that's a bit of a shame. That's a little... Again, that's a bit of a shame. I don't think I quite like that. But either way, it's, like I said, we've got full-on, like, flying villager transportation now. The Happy Ghast is even more useful than it already was, and I couldn't be more happy about this. Again, I love survival Minecraft personally. I love building, but what I do is like I would build stuff in creative, like in a flat world, like separate, and basically just to figure out what I'm going to do before I build it in survival, because I love survival Minecraft. So the fact that we now have this as a feature, why did that not work? Why did that not work? What the heck? There we go. That was weird. Maybe you attach it to the boat and it just picked up another one. Oh my gosh. But it looks like it was a case of... Oh wait, it's actually a little heavy for the ghast. It looks like. Interesting. The 2 villagers almost make it heavier. Huh. That's actually kind of interesting. But like I said, it looks like you need to attach the lead to the boat and then the ghast in order to get this, or the lead to the horse and then the ghast. You can't go ghast to whatever you're carrying. But that's a good little detail to see there. I wonder if they might change that again. This is snapshots. Everything is subject to change, but overall, I already like how this looks. And like I said, that is going to do it. This is a very short video, like I said, but I just want to talk about this because the snapshot dropped suddenly. I was like, hey, this is actually a huge feature for Minecraft, and it's going to be super useful for survival. So I'm really excited to see what else they might bring to this update of future snapshots, because it is already off to a tremendous start, in my opinion. This could be one of the best updates we've gotten in a while. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please drop a like and a comment down below if you did. If you're subscribed, you haven't already. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys!